Xin chào, đấy là Lan là thông dịch viên.
Hello. Yeah, I have I'm Tom, older son, and my sister's here as well.
Okay. And I have the doctor here. She'll be right in pretty soon to translate. I mean, help explain and you can translate. Thank you.
Chào chút xíu, bác sĩ sẽ vô để mà nói chuyện với chú.
Dạ, cảm ơn.
Dạ.
Okie dokie. All right. Hi there. So my name's Dr. Hospodar. So as of right now, here we can all have a seat. Do you want to sit down here?
He's hard of hearing.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So
I'm
maybe
gonna
I'll
move
go
out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go away so you can see next to him.
Yeah.
If you can
Let's
go
do that.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, and this will be good. There we go. Okay. So.
Okay.
Chú, đây là bác sĩ hospital là vừa mới đến để nói chuyện với chú.
Yeah.
Okay. He's ready.
Okay, yeah. So right now we have three options, really. So one of them is surgery to basically replace the blockage of the vein, and we would do that by using a leg vein. Most likely is what they use, and so that would be option one.
Bây giờ là nó có ba cái cách. Cái cách thứ nhất đó là mình mổ cho chú, thì mình vô đó mình thay thế cái việc mà nó bị nghẽn ở trong đó, cái tĩnh mạch nó bị nghẽn, bằng cách là thường đó là họ lấy cái tĩnh mạch ở dưới chân của chú để mà thay thế.
Yeah, but the risks with this is for you would be age, as well as, you know, the recovery might be a bit longer, and then a high risk is also the anesthesia. Since it's a longer procedure, you would have to be under for a longer period of time.
Những cái rủi ro mà khi làm việc này cho chú là cái lứa tuổi của chú đó, với lại nó làm cho cái thời gian hồi phục của chú nó mất lâu hơn, và cái rủi ro nó xảy ra cao hơn khi mà mình gây ngủ cho chú. Tại vì mổ thời gian nó lâu thì mình gây ngủ cho chú nó lâu hơn.
I think he also says that because he's under for so long, the kidney function will be in trouble, in jeopardy, and we'll have to be permanently dependent upon dialysis.
So there is a risk of needing dialysis afterward. And it's really hard to guarantee, like, oh, you will definitely need dialysis, but the likelihood is high, just because of the contrast material that's used for the kidneys, especially with your function being where it is as of right now. The likelihood is that you will most likely need dialysis after.
Yeah, I heard about the likelihood is high that he needs the dialysis, not really, definitely, but after that you got breaking up a little bit. You said something about kidney, something?
Oh yeah, so mainly just where his kidney function is right now, that's why we would think that that's a high likelihood, yes.
Gotcha. Cái việc làm này thì nó cũng có rủi ro là sau khi mình làm xong đó là chú còn phải được lọc máu. Mình không có nói chắc chắn 100% là nhất định là sau khi làm là chú cần phải được lọc máu, nhưng mà cái khả năng nó xảy ra thì nó cao, tại vì cái tình hình thận của chú nó bây giờ, cái chức năng thận của chú.
And then that kind of actually leads into the second option, because the second option would be doing that catheter procedure, and then possibly stenting one of the vessels. But that also uses that contrast, and you'll also still have to be under anesthesia. So it's still a risk, but it's just not as high because it's not as long and it's not as invasive. So that would be like, if we're going from like risky to not as risky, it would be the surgery number one, then the stent, and then the medical management.
cái đó thì nó dẫn đến cái phương án thứ hai của cho chú để chọn. Cái cách thứ hai đó là họ vô đó để mà chụp hình với lại có thể là thông tin cho chú đó. Như là họ sẽ có một cái ống vô, rồi nếu mà họ thấy nghẽn á, họ sẽ đặt một cái stent là một cái ống thông ở ngay cái mạch máu mà nó bị nghẽn á, thì để mà làm việc đó thì họ sẽ cho thuốc cái chất cản quang vô cho chú, và cũng là sử dụng thuốc để mà gây ngủ cho chú. Thì cái rủi ro của cái phương án này nó không có cao giống như là cái phương án hồi nãy mình nói, tại vì mình gây ngủ cho chú nó không có cần phải là quá lâu, và nó cũng không có phải là làm xâm phạm quá nhiều.
Giống không thấy cái tim người đó ấy không làm không được.
Earlier, the Dr. Burr also said that because a lot of the blockage were in the I don't know.
It was like the left main, I think was with the osteo, I believe. And this is what he would have more details about, but with, at least when I read it, in the report, it did say that, so he has, so the left main is the big vessel to the heart, one of them. And so it's 50% blocked, basically, it's stenosed. And it's very close.
Is that incoming or outgoing?
Good question. Yeah. So usually, it would be both. Yeah, because it'll be, I'm pretty sure.
Left side.
Yeah. And then it would be going too. But it's hard to say because a lot of like coronary vessels, it also has blood that has gone through the lungs and then also lungs, so it has both like input and output basically. And so then you also have like what we call the multi-vessel disease, and which we consider for a cabbage, is that there's multiple vessels that are blocked. And so this
completely blocked?
So one's 70%, another one's another 70%, and then one of them is 90%. So that's why, for those ones that are higher percentages, and the other ones, like, the human body is miraculous in that it also creates like collateral vessels to a lot of the smaller ones. So they'll create like blood vessel supplies for a lot of the littler ones, but for like the left main and then the left, the LAD, those are a little bit harder to have since they're bigger vessels. They don't have as much collateral vessels. So basically, in a nutshell, what this all means is that if we could, in a perfect world, idealistically, the best would be the surgery but the risk of the surgery might not be the most benefit for him at this time.
Because of the age.
Right, the age and then the quality of life after. Because at this point, we can also say, okay, well, and I think Dr. Perch knows more about this, but the stenting, which vessel would be the best to stent, those outcomes he'll talk better about. But then the last option is, just pursuing with medical management, which I think is like fearful for a lot of people, right? Because you know that you're walking around with a blockage. But in theory, what the medicine is supposed to do, at least if we optimize it, then it should be able to get you, to a point in your life where you're able to like walk around without chest pain all the time and, kind of just able to live, your life to the fullest. And so, but it would be optimizing, maybe making sure to open up or dilate the vessels a bit more, to make sure that the heart is not undergoing as much structural changes. So that's what the medication is doing, but it's not actually solving the problem, if that makes sense. Yeah. So like a stent, oh my gosh, sorry. Yes.
Can you translate some of that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so I can talk just about option 3. So option 3 is the medical management. And so that is pursuing with the medicine that is able to, help you feel better and open your vessels, but it's not going to relieve the blockage necessarily.
Cái cách thứ ba nữa là mình chỉ điều trị bằng thuốc thôi, tức là mình cho thuốc để mà giúp chú cảm thấy nó đỡ hơn, nó làm cho cái mạch máu đó nó giãn nở ra, nhưng mà cái cách đó nó không có điều trị được cái việc mà nó bị nghẽn.
Vậy uống thuốc này
Và cái bị block không phải là chút xíu đâu, nó có 50%, 70%, 90%. Thấy không? Nhiều cái bị nặng á, so không phải là cái uống thuốc không là hết rồi. Bác phải làm cái gì bác sĩ nói như họ nghe, phải nghe ăn, phải be careful, ăn kẹo, ăn gì đường, có thấy không? Chút xíu là ok.
Có phải gán nghỉ.
Giống hồi nãy ông y tá nói có thuốc mà thí dụ mà có gì đó mình uống vô cái nó cái mạch máu nó nở lên cho nó dễ.
Yeah, earlier we take one medication opens the artery.
Mua thuốc có được, thí dụ mà muốn lên đó, thì má cho báo uống là nó hết.
That's not gonna solve the problem.
Đâu có bướm gì đâu có gì mà lên tới nghẹt đâu.
I mean, it can definitely help it.
Chưa thấy
It
nó
can definitely help it.
lên tới
But
nghẹt. Chưa bị tới gì, hồi nào giờ có tiếng
biết rồi, cái thuốc nó sẽ giúp bá mà không có như là
Không phải phải nói là trong có thuốc là có hết đâu, no.
unless Dr. Kurtz said differently, then I'm like in my studies.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, and Dr. Kurtz can definitely speak more to the stent, but to me it would be between the medical management and the stent, and I don't know how high risk necessarily the stent placing would be, so that's why Dr. Kurtz would be like the better person to talk to. But in the bigger picture of things, it's kind of like, do we even want to risk going in with a cath, or do we want to try? Because that's another option, right? It's trying medical management, and if that doesn't work, we can reevaluate. You know,
Because the cath part is putting a balloon inside his chest, right?
yeah, and then, it'll be like yeah, and the catheter is probably about this size, or maybe a little bit thinner, and then going through the groin, and he already had it, like he had the catheter,
procedure,
right? Yeah, and so, but rather than it being a screening diagnostic, this would be a therapeutic. So then you would go in there, and then you would have to like basically deploy the stent, and then but depending on like where the blockages is, how the blockages interact with other vessels, which I think Dr. Kurtz was speaking to you about, kind of like depending on where it is, because if you have, and I think that's what it is distal. So if we have like two vessels, then like it's hard to decipher where are we going to put the stent necessarily to actually help with the blockage. So it would be like, it would be hard. It would be like two stents versus, so it might be a high risk stent place location as well. And so that's kind of another thing that he could speak more to about the risk. But regardless, if it was even an easy stent, it's still going to come with risks.
Okay.
So, bless you. And I have seen people do very well with the medical management. I mean, like, I actually just had a patient yesterday who was 88, and he also, he chose, not saying that this is your decision yet, but he chose to go with medical management, and he's okay. And so it's just, and then like follow up with cardiologists, follow up with primary care, and it's basically if you do run into a problem or you feel like you're having the chest pain, then maybe it's more emergent than we thought.
Okay, bác hiểu ba cái option không? Bác hiểu, bác nghe được ba đường không? Bà nói á. Ok. Vậy bác muốn đi đường nào?
Uống thuốc rồi.
Yeah,
đừng có ấy.
You want to do the medical
Ngày thường tới cái bệnh đó đâu có lần nào bị nguy hiểm. Khó thở là nghẹt dữ, không có tính nếu mà hồi nãy ông y tá nói á, là có cái thuốc mà uống vô cho nó đỡ. Khi mà mình biết thì mình uống.
Yeah.
Thì người bác đi chim hàng ngày á, cái vô kia cái xong rồi mồ hôi rồi ra nhiều lắm. Cái gì cũng ấy, ba thấy làm vậy là nó hết rồi.
Yeah. I think you said he probably want to do the medical thing for now, and then if he can't stick with the regimen and get well, then we can at that time we can reevaluate.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. That would be probably what I would do. And then but again, you can take also the night to think it through too, and then we'll I can let the surgeons know in the morning.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then we can
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
but it looks like that's a good plan. Yeah.
Okay, so if we go forward with that plan and the surgeon comes in the morning and evaluate, what's going to be their plan? I mean, how long do you keep them under observation, and is it going to be in this ECU or is it going to be somewhere else?
Yeah, so usually what happens is that he's not on a whole lot right now. Let's see. So we like to add things kind of one at a time, or we'll do if we feel comfortable 2 at a time. And then we like to observe usually for 24 hours afterward. It's very dependent on the team too. And so, but sometimes it could be day of that we change, and if he's okay after taking it in the morning and everything, he could go home. And then just with close follow-up after discharge. Because a lot of the times it's not really needed to be in the hospital for this type of stuff.
Okay.
Just to kind of observe to make sure he's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we have room. So the biggest medication right now, so the aspirin is very important. Atorvastatin is very important because that's for the high cholesterol. And so that's actually what can be causing a lot of the blockages.
Wow. Okay.
And then Coreg is the beta blocker, and that actually helps to slow down the heart, so the heart's able to fill a bit quicker, so it's not, it's more time, not as rushed, right?
So those are the ones he's taking right now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that we also added during this admission as well. And then we changed him to amlodipine, which is not considered but we have other medication that we can add on that he's not on, and then to make it better and less demand on the heart, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, it's better to add a medication and adjust it here while he's under observation than for us to go home and try to deal with it.
So and I completely agree. I think that what I foresee happening, and I hate making guarantees, but what I think will happen is that we'll touch base with surgery tomorrow morning, and then when we meet as a team, we'll go over what we think the best medications to add are at this time, and then we'll kind of go from there. And so whether or not they want to observe you for longer, or if they want to, if they feel okay with you going home, then that'll kind of be up to the surgeons and the rest of the cardiology team.
Okay.
And then with the medication, let's say this is months or weeks from now, he won't be able to drive and stuff like that, will he?
So he should be, and he's at baseline, is he able to drive and function and everything? Yeah, so he should be fine, because a lot of the medication that we're adding are they're blood pressure medication, so he should be able to live functionally the same.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So could you kind of repeat so that the translation can be done for him as far as what's going to happen to him and approximately when he can leave. Oh, sorry, timed out. There's no power stuff behind him.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's just the part right now. Okay.
Yeah, because he's kind of wondering what's going to happen to me, how long I'm going to stay here, and
so let's translate this portion. So, what I can see happening is that tomorrow we meet with the surgeons and we go over, which medications would be best for you to start, and then based upon the meeting and what they, are comfortable with, you can either leave tomorrow or the next day.
Như là ngày mai đó thì mình sẽ gặp bác sĩ chuyên về giải phẫu để mà nói về cái việc đó là thuốc nào là mình có thể bắt đầu cho chú uống, rồi sau đó thì mình có thể cho chú về hoặc là ngày mai hay ngày mốt.
Bác có muốn hỏi bác sĩ cái question gì không?
Có cần khỏi đâu có cần nói gì không hả?
Dạ không làm
Đâu
Thuốc
No.
thôi, thuốc thôi.
hả?
không làm gì cho uống thuốc không à.
Uống thuốc không à? Dạ đâu theo
Có question nào nữa không?
Dạ.
Có cái gì muốn hỏi bác sĩ tim không?
Dạ. Uống thuốc rồi.
Okay.
Đâu cần ấy.
Okay.
Bởi vì trong mình nó mới biết nấu hồi nào giờ không có khó thở.